started. Okay, so Ashley, do your thing and then I'll start, girl.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you so much, Danielle, for taking the time out of your very busy day and work schedule to do this for the team called Boss Nail Babes. That's our team here. You guys, this is Danielle. I think everybody knows this, but I fangirl for you hard on YouTube. I love your real approach. I love how helpful and empathetic and caring you are for anybody in Color Street. Really, you want to help everybody. And thank you for doing this. This is Danielle's first time training for another team outside of her lineage leg. So she's going to talk to us about her accountability form and her method for running that form. And she's going to give us the form after the training, which is incredible because we love systems and processes. And then she's going to open it up for a 15-minute Q&A session where we get to pick the brain of Danielle, who's a total rock star. Really quick, she's a wife. She's a mom of 3. She's a nurse by trade and also a big time nail boss. I'm sure you guys all know who she is. She's really all about serving other people, empowering women. She loves to encourage them, and she loves the freedom that this business brings. And so, Danielle, I'm going to hand it over to you. Take it away, and thank you again.
All right, girl. So, Boss Nail Babes, hello, welcome. And from what I hear, this is the elite from the team. So I'm super excited to share with you all. So what I'm going to talk to you about is nothing special, honestly, in my opinion, but it's just a little worksheet that I came up with back in the beginning of my journey. So actually something super amazing. Not only is today my first day ever training a team outside of my lineage, but today's my 3-year color anniversary. So I'm super excited about that. When Ashley and I were chatting about doing this, I was like, girl, oh my gosh, August 10th. Wait, hold on. I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm really excited about that too. I've kind of been way up here all day today because I've just been full of emotions. And all of you that work this business as a business, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you just think about this business in general, the blessings that have come from the business, and it kind of gets you in your feelings. So this form that I'm going to talk to you about, and like Ashley said, I'll share the link to it. But I was thinking way back when I was still working as a nurse and I had all this stuff on my plate, I thought, okay, I do want to see where this business goes. When I started, I had the give it 90 days motto. So I said, okay, we're going to do this for 90 days. We're going to see what happens. And if it totally sucks, then okay, I made my money back from my kit. I'm done. Well, you guys all know that have achieved jump starts. If you achieve all your jump starts at the end of that 90 days, you're not turning back because you're a team leader. You just earned a $200 cash bonus. You've earned tons of free nails from hitting your jump starts. And that's what happened with me. I didn't know achieving those jump starts, I would be in the place that I was on my 95th day, but I'm really a goal setter. I love challenging myself. So I did achieve all of my jump starts when I started and I've never looked back. So I thought, how am I going to fit this business into my life? So I wanted basically the simplest thing that I could do every week for accountability and growth with my business. And a lot of my uplines, those of you, you might know Kelly France. So Kelly France is my highest upline. So I'm in her lineage, way down below her. My closest executive upline is Jessica Ledford. I don't know if you guys know that name, but so that's my closest executive that I go to. But anyhow, I wanted a way to fit this into my business. And I had lots of examples from several of my leaders that did the 6 Ps, they did weekly checklists. And so I was using like 4 different forms and pulling my favorite things from those. And I thought, why don't I just take what I like from all of those forms and just kind of write it down on paper? And I used that and it kind of evolved into this form. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about is one of my favorite parts about the business, and that's goal setting. So I truly feel like weekly goals are super big in this business. I think at the beginning of a month, we are all super pumped and we have these big lofty goals and we set these goals and some of us say them out loud. Some of us even write them down. But when the month comes to an end, you're like, what the hell happened? I had a goal of this PV. I had a goal to recruit this many people. I had a goal to rank up. Where the hell did it go? Well, we lose sight of those goals as the month goes on because life happens. And if we're not intentional when we set those goals, I think they're just a dream, honestly. When you write down your goals, it becomes a plan and it's something that you start to work towards. So with this, and again, this is a weekly sheet. So I print this and I fill it out every single week. But at the beginning of the week, I will write the week of, my PV, my GV, and my rank. And then I will put for that week, what is my PV goal for that week? What is my GV goal? What is my sample goal and my party goal? And then at the end of the week, I will see where I'm at with those goals, because really I feel like what gets evaluated gets produced. So if you really want to continue to grow and excel, or if you guys are any leaders that are on this call, you want your team to do the same. So I think it's really important to encourage that. And I know some people, I know almost everybody in Color Street knows Lindsay Coco, but she talks about daily goals. Like Lindsay is a top producer in PV, and she has daily goals. She's like, I have to sell this much nail polish every single day. And I'm like, whoa. I mean, yes, she's amazing, like selling $16,000 in nail polish, but weekly goals work for me. So evaluate at the end of the week. And then this here in the middle section is things that we should be doing daily. So posting in your VIP group. Let me see. I'm just muting someone that just got on. Okay. Posting daily in our VIP groups. And I feel like for me, 3 times a day works great. Other people might post once a day. Some people post several times a day. I think it's really whatever works with your crowd and your VIP. But at a minimum, you should post at least once daily in your VIP space. And then you can write down, what you have scheduled to post or whatever you want to do in that little section. But the main thing is just making sure that it's done. And then I feel like something that is critical in this business, and I know from listening to several of Ashley's videos that she preaches the same, but personal development, self-development is key. And I have that on here as something that needs to be done daily, because I truly feel like not only for your Color Street business, but your marriage, your parenting, your personal mindset, personal development is huge, you guys. If you feel like you are stuck in a dark place or you are in a rut, you need to get back in the personal development, because I'm telling you, that's going to pull you out of that dark spot quicker than anything that you can ever think of. And I'm telling you, it works, because I've been in those dark places. And I know, okay, Danielle, when's the last time you listened to a podcast? When's the last time you listened to a YouTube video? Oh, shoot, it's been like a week ago. Okay, really, that's why. So personal development is key. And I'm not saying you have to go listen to a 1-hour podcast, because ain't nobody got time for that unless it's something really, really good. I listen to like 10-minute videos, 15-minute videos. I listen in the morning when I'm getting ready, in the car when I'm cooking dinner. I mean, my kids probably have a college education in personal development because I have it on so much in the car. I mean, that's what I choose. I mean, maybe you don't want your kids listening to it, but nonetheless, you can find time to fit it in. And then something else that I feel is really important is business development. So business development would be anything that develops your business. Listening to people that are successful, that are sharing their secrets with us, connect the dots, Tuesday trainings, YouTube. There's so many people out on YouTube that share really, really good information. Ashley is one of them, but you can go on there and you can search Color Street parties. Maybe right now your parties suck. Okay, Color Street parties. Here comes all these videos from girls that have shared how they are finding success in parties. So I think every single day you should listen to a Color Street training. And that's just me. The next thing is Hostess Coaching. If you were on this call, I know you are one of the top performers on Ashley's team, but Hostess Coaching is key. I think that's where we lose a lot of parties and they turn into flops, as people say, because we lack the hostess coaching. I think that when we have parties going on, it's very important to touch base with our hostess daily. So I put that on there because I think that is key. And we are also in a party-based business. And if we want to grow, then we need to be doing parties, lots of them. So share the blessing. So I feel like at a minimum, we should do a weekly business blessing. And I also think that we should share the opportunity with one person at a minimum. And I am not the enrolling person. Your leader is, so I'm going to leave that area up to her. But, and then 2 parties. I think that having 2 parties a week is key for growth. But, you know, depending on what fits for you and your team, you can always adjust any of this. And you guys can also get the link to this and look at it and say, okay, I love all of this, but I want to change this, and make your own version of this. I mean, that's really what this business is about, is figuring out what works best for you and using other people's ideas as inspiration to create your own. That's how this whole thing came about. And it was not nice and fancy like this back when I first came up with it. It was pen and paper and it was junky. Okay, so the next part is when we get into the connections. And we are in a business of social selling. So you guys already know being social is a key part of our business. We need to be making sure that we are building connections daily. I mean, and this again is the bare minimum, but this is the second part of the form. Every week, send 5 samples, follow up with samples, and maybe, you know, if you have newer stylists that don't have samples to follow up with, or maybe you are helping someone relaunch their business and they get to this part and they're like, Danielle, I haven't sent a sample in 6 months. I can't do that. Okay, well, reach out to 5 VIPs that you've never talked to before, or fill in whatever works for you in these sections, but just make sure you're making the connections. That's the big part of this. Follow up with customers or orders, and then ask people to host. And I'm pretty sure that Ashley will tell you the same. This hostess part right here is how we grow our team, because a lot of times when you have a hostess, she's basically doing everything that we do as a stylist. So if you're making it a point to offer that opportunity to every single hostess, you're going to see that you are beginning to share the opportunity a lot more, and your team is going to begin growing. And a lot of times, you know, when we get to the end of parties, just telling people, hey, this is the amount of commission that your party is going to earn. That could be you if you were a stylist, and really putting things into perspective. People are like, oh, wait, what? Okay, so down to the bottom. This is relevant to my team. So I know this would be a little bit different for you all, but meetings and trainings, I feel like it's very important. If you guys have weekly trainings somewhere in your lineage or with your team, I think it's very important to make it a point to join those live if possible, but if not, make sure you're catching the replay. So on this form, for this example, we have Connect the Dots, which I need to update because I still have daily on here, and it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday now. And then the corporate call on Tuesdays. And then I have Team Nailed It, which is Kelly France, and then Nail Vibes, which is Amanda Yoakum. But those are groups that we have a training in at least once a week. And I put those on there. And then I have another section, trainings to replay, because we all know we can't always catch every single training live. We need to catch replays. And then down at the bottom, I have notes. And then something, if any of you follow me on YouTube, I'm all about celebrating successes. So down at the bottom, you will see biggest success. I think it's very, very critical, whether you promote a rank at the end of the week, or you have your first sale, or you do your first live video. I don't care what it is. I think it's worth celebrating, because when you celebrate small, you're going to eventually play big. So I think it's really, really important, even if you feel like you had the crappiest week ever, I feel like it's important to write something down that you did succeed in, because you can always find something positive in every situation. I don't care what it is. So that's the form. Ashley, if I went over anything too quick or you have questions, you go ahead and ask me. And then if anybody else on here has questions about this, we can go over that. And then once we get past that, we can do like open questions, whatever questions you guys have. I feel like I ran through it fast.
I think that was great. I'm sure we all have a ton of questions. Do you train new stylists that you're enrolling to begin filling this out right away? Or is it something you get them through Jumpstart first, and then you teach them to be doing these weekly goals?
I wait until they get, me personally, I wait until they get through their launch party. And then as I do the transition from the launch to your VIP group, I help incorporate this into it. So really the launch part, I just focus on having fun, spreading their business, trying to get them bonus qualified if that's a goal of theirs, and then incorporate it after that.
I love this so much. I have needed this weekly system. I know a bunch of people have questions for you, so I'm just going to open it up. If you guys want to ask Danielle questions, this is your time to shine.
I'm also going to pull up the chat on the side. I see that there's several comments that I totally missed when I was going over this. So again, if anybody wants to unmute and ask, you go ahead.
Hey, Danielle, I'm going to ask a question.
Yes. Hey, Heather.
Hey. Okay, so I want to hear a little bit about what you do for your launch party for your people, because I'm like always changing it up. I'm figuring launch parties out for my new recruits. Do you do like a week-long launch party in their VIP and then you switch the name over to their VIP group, or how do you go about doing that?
So basically, yes, that's what I do, is roughly 7 to 10 days. And it's different based upon the response that I get. But what I did was went through and did like a launch party ideas Google form. And I can actually share the link to that with you guys as well. It's nothing fancy. It's basically the basics of a launch party. So it has information about the polish. It has how to take it off, how long it lasts. I have a couple like this or that interactive things. But it's basically just the gist of Color Street. And I actually had a leader reach out to me today about this because she was doing the launch party for one of her Canada girls that joined. And so what I would do is schedule a post every day at like 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. in the launch party for my new girl. Then I would tell her, okay, you've got 2 posts a day from now until Friday, or, whatever, 7 to 10 days from then. I'd say, I've got them scheduled at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I want you to find a post every day around lunchtime. I want it to be something that grabs feedback, that grabs opinions, that grabs interaction, just something, a this or that, or I don't know, anything that they can do that will create fun in their group so that I'm there helping them, but also they are starting to take that initiative, because we all know how overwhelming that is when you start and you're trying to figure it all out and do all the things. So I would schedule that. And then I also like to do a lot of giveaways and launch parties. I want them to be a lot of fun, typically a minimum of 4 posts a day with lots of interaction, lots of fun games. But the giveaways are typically like a couple accent packs. So like the twosies or a scratch off card. It's something that I can mail very cheaply and also something that doesn't really cost a lot. So I don't know, Heather, did that help, or did I go into way too much detail?
No, I really like that. I always wonder about how many gifts I should give away for their launch party too. So you're just doing like twosies and scratch cards mostly. Do you ever give away free sets in their launch party?
I do, but typically to get a free set, I will typically have it based off orders. So I want to try to help the new stylist, because we all know how exciting it is when you get those first sales. So I may do, the first 5 people to order are entered to win a free set, or she's got a goal to sell 9 party packs by the end of her launch party. If she gets there, we're going to give away 2 sets or something like that. And I'll make a note to share my launch ideas with you guys.
I like that. I like that you're like, if we get to that, then we're going to give away the free sets, because sometimes they don't get there and you're like,
oh, heck yes.
Away a free set. Yeah.
Yes, I've done that before with my VIPs, where I've said, I'm going to give away a Texas Roadhouse gift card and this, and this, everybody that places an order. And then I get like 1 order and I'm like, oh, shut the front door. I am not about to give away all this stuff when I got 1 buy 3 get 1 order. So I started putting little disclaimers on things.
That is so smart. Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome.
Hi, Danielle. My name's Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
My question is not about a launch. You mentioned business development. Can you elaborate the difference between self-development and business development?
Yes, to make it very simple, and I'm not saying this to be rude, but like for people that are watching the replay, personal development is developing you. It's developing you as a person, and business development is anything that evolves your business. So something that is going to help you take your business to the next level. I always tell my girls, if you're struggling with enrolling, go learn from the enrollers out there who are sharing their secrets. Go listen to Ashley South. Go listen to Julie Cruz. Go listen to Molly Fitch. Like, go find trainings in the Color Street group. Go find Tuesday trainings from these people, and they're all out there sharing their secrets. So Business development develops your business. Personal development develops the person, develops you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that we hear a lot of self-development in our team space.
Yeah.
And so, and I used to work business development for an engineering firm. So I personally know like the difference, but I know that there's a lot of us who don't understand the difference between self-development and business development and how those two can sound the same.
Right.
And how do they execute? Like when I say self or business development, somebody might not know what that means. And then what is the purpose? Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to watch this training and then I'm supposed to execute what I've learned. So thank you so much.
Yep, you are exactly right. So I'm looking at the comments, and if anybody else has questions, you can feel free to chime in. But somebody asked if there's a story behind the Manny that you have on. So this is super busy. It's kilowatt and long time no see. And I couldn't decide on which overlay I wanted. So I put a different overlay on every finger. And I told my husband I wanted a conversation starting Manny because as I told you guys, this is my 3rd year with Color Street. And I said, I'm going to take things up a notch this month. And I'm going to start doing a manicure that people know didn't come from a salon. So I've had so many compliments on these. And it gives me an opportunity to talk about Color Street, to give samples out, to, you know, share the business. So I wanted a loud manicure. That's all. Okay, I'm reading more of your comments. Go ahead. Somebody was.
I have a question, Lorraine Vasquez. What do you consider IPAs? Like, what are IPAs that you consider aren't a waste of our time, how we can benefit the most from?
I always laugh when I hear the word IPAs. I'm sorry, because my husband is a huge IPA beer guy. Like, every time I hear the word IPAs, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I think, and this is the easiest way for me to explain it, like when I have newer stylists that I'm talking to them about, I will say, when you are completing whatever you are completing, you need to ask yourself, is this making me money or is it losing me money? So when you think about following up, that's making you money. Looking through graphics groups, that's not making you money. Creating your own graphics, that's not making you money. Coming up with a template or something for a party, that's not making you money. Reaching out and getting samples out to new people, that's going to make you money. So I think you really just have to think to yourself, okay, is this making money or is this losing money? And the losing money activities do have to happen, but I think that you have to be disciplined enough to make, you know, your daily list and put the worst 3 things first and say, okay, I don't want to follow up with those orders from last week, but I know I have to, so I'm going to do that first. And I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But I do want to create a new game night template for my VIP, but that's going to be number 4 on this list because I need to do the income producing activities first. So that's just kind of the way that I think about things. And if you get the crappy stuff out of the way, first of all, it makes it so much more rewarding to get to the end and make that fun thing that you're wanting to do that you really don't have to do, but you want to.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, somebody asked on the side, with the chart system, how do you hold your team accountable to filling it out? Is it an opt-in system? So in my team space, myself and 5 other leaders run the team space. So we do basically like a united team thing. And one of my leaders that helps me run it, she will post this every week on Monday morning. And she'll say, don't forget to nail your week. Here's your form. And then on Sunday night, she posts, drop your completed form below. And then each week I give away a coffee card. So like Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, somewhere we pick a winner and then I send them coffee on me. But I will just tell you, there's really no way that you can get people to fill this out. you are going to have people that want to work. You're going to have people that come up with every excuse, and you can make money and you can make excuses, but you can't make them both. So it's kind of like the resources there. You can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So I think that it comes from leading by example. And that's something that I strive for in my team, especially with the girls that help run the team, is, okay, we want people doing this. We need to be doing this. We want people doing things. We need to do it. So no matter what it is, I think when they see that you, the leaders, you, the top producers, are doing it, they're going to say, okay, well, if she's having all this success and she's filling out this stupid form, I'm going to give this stupid form a try. And when they do, they realize the momentum that they gain from it. I know several girls on my team, once they do 1 week of this, and a lot of times they don't even fill it out completely. They just kind of like half-ass it. And they'll say, I can't believe the momentum that I got from doing that. I can't believe what next week's going to look like when I do it all. And then once they see the results from their work, they kind of become addicted to it, because we all know that once you see that something works, you're like, okay, I have to keep doing this, and they're going to continue to push themselves. So maybe doing like something that fits your business budget as far as rewarding people for doing it, that might be a way to kind of get it started and get people in the habit. Or maybe you've got like some walkers on your team that you're trying to get their business relaunched or kind of get their momentum back. Maybe they're in a slower season of their business. You may work with them one-on-one and say, hey, Danielle, I know that your business is kind of down in the valley right now. I've got this form that I really want you to try using to see if it'll help you get back on track. Fill it out each week this month, and then I'm going to get you 4 free sets of nails or a gift card or whatever. Do what fits your budget. Don't listen to other leaders that you feel like are giving away the bank. You have to do what works for you. And if that's a $5 Starbucks card, then that's what you do. But just kind of holding people accountable and working more one-on-one with them, because a lot of your runners, which are your leaders, the people that you don't really have to check in with often, they're probably going to be doing this. So it's going to be those people that you kind of feel like you're dragging along. Maybe some of them you're carrying, which I don't recommend that you do, because you cannot make anybody want success. And when you carry people for so long, you're going to end up burning yourself out. So while you are standing there carrying this baggage along, trying to make them work their business, you've got Ashley South out there passing you by. You've got Kelly France out there passing you by, because you could be doing a darn party while you're over here carrying Sally along that doesn't want to work her business. So don't sell yourself short. Drop that baggage and let them know, hey, I'm here for you. I've got your back. I've got all these tools to help you succeed. But when this becomes a priority, I'm here. I'll be here waiting on you, and we'll get you back on track. But until then, I'm going to go do a darn party, because I want to go meet these elite rock stars that are out there just passing me by or potentially joining with another stylist. So I just went way into detail on that, y'all. So okay, who else has questions? And I'll look at more comments. Somebody said scrolling social media doesn't make us money. That is so true. But I think we all get caught in that trap. You get on there, and before you know it, you've wasted 20 minutes looking at nonsense. Okay, if anybody else has questions, you can chime in. I just made it through all the comments. Or Ashley, if you wanted to add anything.
Is there anyone else? I know you guys, we share a lot of your videos in our Road to Executive program. We share it in our team space all the time. And I know that everyone's very familiar with who you are. And you guys, this is your chance to ask Danielle. You've done some great mindset trainings. You've done some great charting, how to chart for your team. So before we jump off this incredible training, okay, Lorraine says, what is your key for Hostess Coaching? Do you have a tip or tips that you do, Danielle, for Hostess Coaching?
So I do. I have another form, go figure. So I've got a form that I use that kind of gives me, so I have forms for everything, you guys. So it's basically kind of my list of what I do each day, and then I highlight it as I go. So, and I could share that with you guys, but it's basically just what I do from the beginning. So send the host the party link and the sample link. Ask the host to share her party on Facebook, send her the hostess rewards, have her invite the guest. I mean, I just kind of go through each thing. And then as we get to the middle of the party, I'm asking her to post in the party and thank the guest. I ask her to introduce herself. So I have quite a bit on here, and I may even have another Google Doc from a while ago that has like verbiage and stuff that I use for the coaching. So I can see if I have anything more concrete that Ashley could share with you guys. And if I do, you guys know I'm definitely open to send that to you. So I will check on that and send that to her if I have it.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what are your favorite hostess coaching tips to hold your hostesses accountable, I guess, for their party?
So I feel like from the beginning, I kind of set the tone that I'm going to help them earn free nails. That's one of the first things that I say to my hostess is I'm so excited to help you earn some free nails, so that they know that it does take work on their end. But honestly, I feel like I do a whole lot as far as getting the party together, scheduling the party, providing daily hostess coaching, that basically they just have to follow my coaching to have a successful party. And that's something that I tell them at the beginning. I even have a hostess checklist that I send to them in the mail. And I was trying to find it here. And of course I don't see it. Oh, here it is. So I can give you guys a copy of this too, but this is what I send to my hostess. And then I do hostess bingo too. So she knows that if she fills her card, she's going to get a whole bundle of goodies from me, along with a free set of nails and 3 sets of accents. And that's basically how I keep her encouraged, I guess, accountable, as the question was asked. But the way that they can get spaces is 150 in sales, sharing a nail fee in the party midweek, share her party on Facebook, $300 in party sales, 10 guests join the event, introduce herself in the party before it starts, have a guest book a party, post in her party the closing weekend, and become a stylist. So that's kind of how I guess I would hold them accountable, is I just try to be very transparent and let them know that we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to earn some free nails, but I'm going to help her. So it's ideally up to her. Like, and something else that I tell them is these are your people, not mine. I'm just the nail lady. Like, they don't know me, they know you. So you need to be the main person that is interacting and tagging them on posts and having fun in this party. And that typically works well for me. Now, you are going to have some parties where the hostess just doesn't do well, but don't consider it a flop if your hostess does not do what you want her to do, because I've had stylists come from parties that had 0 sales and 0 interaction. And the way that I got them is because I make it a point to welcome every single guest that joins parties. So I do not allow my hostess to mass add people. I think it's spammy. I am added to groups every single day, and I delete every single invite unless I'm personally connected. And I tell my hostess the same thing. I tell her basically to take the Frank's list. You guys are probably all familiar with the Frank's list, but I give her that to fill out from a hostess standpoint. I might have it in here. No, I don't think I do. But I tell her to fill that out, and that is her guest list. And then I give her a message to send to personally invite everyone and click the group link and join themselves, so that she's not adding them to the group. And then as they join, I reach out to them. I welcome them to the group. I send them my sample link to request a sample and go from there. But that's how, you know, I've taken parties that were flops and turned them into something else. I mean, you can get new customers, new VIPs, but you have to make those connections, and you have to remember that it is in your job description that you will talk to people, you will make connections. So I'm just kidding. It's not in your job description, but you are in network marketing, and networking is meeting new people. Marketing is sharing a product. So we are meeting new people. We are sharing Color Street. That is our job. And we have to remember that. And if you feel spammy for reaching out to somebody that was invited to a party that joined the group, think about they just walked into your living room at your house. I know it's not the same. It's a Facebook group or wherever you hold your parties, but just think about it that way. Like if Ashley was to come over, I would be like, oh my gosh, Ashley, it's so nice to finally meet you in person. Come in and sit down. What do you want to drink? Like, I'm not just going to stand there and stare at Ashley when she walks in my house. So I think that we need to think about it in that way when people are joining that group, because they are stepping into your space. And if you guys were at conference and you listened to Tracy Rogers, and she was basically like, anybody that comes within 3 feet of me is stepping into my office. So when they come into that group, they are in your office. So that means they are in your territory and you can open that conversation with them. So, okay, any other? Do I have a sample form? My sample form is a Google form. Yes, that's what somebody had asked. I am not familiar with Jot forms, so I do not know. I'm very familiar with Google, so that's what I use for everything. Google Docs, Google Forms. And I really like those. What do I send for a hostess packet? So I send the checklist. Here's my notes so I remember. So I send a checklist, a catalog, an opportunity brochure, a gift, a thank you card, and a copy of the hostess rewards. So that's what goes out in every one. Now, sometimes I have hostesses that I don't know well. Maybe I met them in a party, or maybe they weren't in my VIP group. So my gift that I send them is typically a scratch off card and a free set. If I'm not too sure about this person, I might wait to send the free set until the end, because there's been a lot of times I've sent out a lot of stuff to people and then they don't follow my coaching. They don't interact. And I've had people that don't even join the group, you guys. So just know that everybody has huge fails, but that's okay, because I was just like, on to the next one. You can't let that get you down. But yeah, that's what I send. And I will send Ashley also the hostess checklist with the bingo on it. And then I also print off, I might not have one of those either, but I print off a little bingo form for me to track the bingos on. Here you go. That's an old one. So that way I can keep track of things a lot easier. And you guys are going to laugh at me because my team says that I'm like stuck in the Stone Age, because I use pen and paper for everything. Like I have forms and systems and all the things on paper, but it just helps me to stay organized because I'm human and I lose track of things and stuff happens. So I do that. And I also have another way that I track parties, because again, like follow up and connections are my jam. So you can do this on pen and paper. This is my party guest list. So let's say Ashley's invited to the party and she joins the group. I write Ashley's name and then I write down who invited her, because I am big on mega parties. I will take 4 to 6 hostesses and put them all in the same group and run one big party. So I keep track of who invited them. And then I make sure they join the group. I offer them a sample. Then my goal is to get them into my VIP group. And then my goal is to get them to order. And as long as you are, going through, welcoming them to the group, offering them a sample, following up with the sample, getting them to your VIP group, coming to this order part is not going to feel spammy, because you will have already contacted that person at least 3 different times. So when it comes time to ask them about ordering, you shouldn't feel very spammy about it. And that's what I tell my team a lot is, if you feel spammy, I actually did a training on this a couple of days ago about flipping your mindset when you feel spammy, because you're either lacking in follow-up or you are just lacking in your mindset, period, because we should not feel spammy when we are sharing Color Street, no matter what part of Color Street we are sharing. So somebody said I'm obsessed. Kayla's obsessed with all the organization.
I am an organized chaos mess. And I do all of those things, but I don't have like a system in play. Like I'm not a spreadsheet person. I'm literally like just a journal, and I just write down everything, pen and paper. So like one day I would like to like be able to put everything in like some really pretty spreadsheets, and it would all be organized, and I'd have binders and stuff. But like my brain is it just doesn't want to do that. So I just don't do it. So I love this so much.
Lorraine asked how far ahead I send the Hostess packet. I would love to do it 10 days ahead of time, but that doesn't always happen. I make it a goal to do it 7 days ahead of time. If I can do the 10 days, that's even better. I think the more time we have to prepare the Hostess, the better. But 7 to 10 days is what I would say.
Danielle, do you friend them right away when they join one of your party groups, and then you can message them easily? Is that the way you go about it?
So up until now, no, I don't friend everybody from parties. That is something that I probably should do. I know a lot of my uplines do that, and they encourage that when they train us, but no, I don't. I try to friend request every new VIP that comes in, but parties, I have not gotten that far yet. Maybe one day I will, but I don't.
I have one more question. You're 3 years in the business. How many parties are you running on a monthly basis this far in?
I would say on an average month, 4 to 6. So when I was doing very well, and when I say very well for me, is maxing out the comp plan every month and enrolling at least 2 people. So when I was selling 2,400 plus and enrolling 2 people, I was doing 2 mega parties every month, the first week and the third week of the month. That's when I was probably at my highest high with Color Street, as far as like my business just rolling very well. So at that point, I was doing, when you broke it down, anywhere between 8 to 12 parties. I do not think that you have to do 8 to 12 parties to be successful. I think that you can be very extremely successful with 2 very intentional parties a month. And if Ashley's training you different, don't listen to what I'm saying. But I truly feel like if you had a goal to have 25 people invited to each party, and you are connecting with 50 new people every single month and being intentional about it, like writing these people down, offering samples, going back to make sure they got the samples, and being intentional with them, I think that you can see some amazing growth in your business. I think that sometimes we focus more on quantity instead of quality. So we want in our mind to know that we're doing 2 parties a week, but if you're not making those connections and you're not following up with those people, it really doesn't matter. Yes, you might get some temporary high in your sales, but I feel like if you have the long-term mindset with this business, which I encourage you to do, you really have to focus on being intentional with every single person that you come across, and not just focus on getting more parties, if that makes sense. I hope that that came out the way my brain was saying it, because I don't want you to think that partying is not important. I think being intentional and making connections is far more important than doing 10 parties a month, because at the end of the day, your direction is far more important than your speed. So you're going to have times where you feel like you're stuck, but you're really not. You're just not going as fast as you want to. So you might be slower doing 1 or 2 parties and think that you suck, and you've got your mind down in the valley, and you're letting all these people walk right by you and you're not connecting. You know what I mean? Like if you put it into perspective. So I think you just have to remember that you need to be very intentional and make those connections, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to be sustainable for your business, as opposed to doing a crap ton of parties and not building any connections and maybe getting thousands of dollars in sales, but then where did all them people go? So Ashley, do you want to tag on to anything I'm saying? Because I don't want to steer your team the wrong way.
No, I agree 100% with you. Quality over quantity every time. This is built on people connections. And most of the people on this call, a lot, I wouldn't say all of them, but a majority of them are in our Road to Executive program. where we base it on 8 parties a month, but that's not their starting point. You know, those people
Yeah.
coming into that want to hit executive, they need to be hitting Circle of Excellence every month, and they want to work at a speed that not every stylist wants to work at. So we base it off 8 parties a month, but it's not a requirement. If you only feel comfortable connecting with people at 6 or 4, you know, you gotta, I agree. We all needed to hear exactly what you said on, you know, speed versus direction. But yeah, for our runners that want to hit executive, that want to promote, you know, every other month, 8 parties a month with the follow-up is needed. But there's some people that have killer sales that do 1 party a week and do 4 a month, like you said, but they're doing much better connection. So I think it's all about time management and what you have time for in your business. I agree. There's nothing that you said that I'm not like, preach it, girl. Anyone else feel that like in their soul? Because I sure did.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle, I just asked about friending your people in the parties just because sometimes when I send out a message, I don't get a reply if I'm not like, you know, if they're not your friend. Do you have that happen to you where they don't reply to a lot of your messages that you're sending out?
Yeah, I do. And typically with those people, to avoid being like spammy with it, I'll send out the welcome message when they join. And then by the end of the party or when it's starting to wrap up, typically like 5 to 7-ish days after the initial message, I'll send another message out like, hey, Danielle, I just wanted to let you know that Ashley's party's closing this weekend. We've got these awesome giveaways going on. Here's her link if you want to check it out. And then basically, if she doesn't open the message, then I just kind of let it go and hope that maybe, you know, later down the road, she might come across it and open it. But I don't send a whole lot of messages, especially if I see that the first one was never opened. And then I just kind of let it be from there. Now, I do know other parties that I've been to, and a lot of Sideline Sisters on Color Street, they all friend everybody in the party. And I feel like that's probably the most efficient and effective way to do things. If you are really trying to, you know, be on track to hit executive, like Ashley is coaching you to do, I think that that needs to be a priority. Like friend request those people, because you know that if you friend request them, they are going to see that message. So I think that if your goal is executive, I think that you need to do everything in your power to make sure that that goes as efficiently as possible, and you guys make it to that level.
I agree. Thank you. So thanks to everybody for your great questions for your training. And wow, we need all the forms. I know that when we chatted, I was like, I am also I'm just a people person, but it's not very duplicatable for our people. And so the fact that you have these systems and you're willing to share them with us, like it just goes to show like what an incredible company Color Street is. And you and I are not even on the same team, but your willingness to come here and share all of that with us to help us in our business when it doesn't benefit you. I can't thank you enough for your generosity and your time today and your willingness to share all of that. So thank you, Danielle, so much. You brought so much value to this team. And everybody just thank Dan. You can unmute and thank her for her time today. This was incredible.
Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Danielle.
Happy
Thank you.
anniversary.
Yeah, happy
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danielle.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I love your
that.
shirt, by the way. It's so cute.
Thank you.
I'm
Camo's
loving
my
I'm a
favorite
nails.
color.
camo freak. I love it.
The nails
Yes.
are super cute.
I love camo. People say, what's your favorite color? I'm like, camo. They're like, that's not a color. I said, yes, it is for me.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you
Well,
so
I'm
much.
going to end the recording. Thank you all for hanging out with me for a little bit. And Ashley, thank you for having me. I'll
Thanks,
talk to you all
Thanks,
later.
Danielle.